Welcome to Design Your CEO Life. I'm your host, Shay Cannon. I have designed my CEO life to live and work my business from anywhere in the world. I started this journey in Belize. I've lived in Mexico for a number of years. I was even in Buenos Aires, Argentina for about a year and a half. I am truly living my best life just 3 blocks from the Caribbean Sea. But soon, I start a year-long tour of Southeast Asia, and I am so excited. In fact, it's happening very soon. So thank you for joining me as I share conversation and stories and strategies to help you live your CEO life. All right. So season 3 is rolling and rolling, and I am proud to say that I'm expanding my reach to position more and more of you to live your best life while you're working a business that funds it, right? Because that's what it's all about, freedom, the life that you're living. So we did good work together in our first 2 seasons. So I am excited that we are continuing that work this season. By now, you should know that we're on a mission. No more waiting, no more pretending, no more excuses. We're building businesses and lives that feel good for real, not for play. Playtime is over when it comes to having the life that we want. So if you're new here, be sure to go back and check out past seasons. We've been building up to this season 3 of Design Your CEO Life, and it is going to be next level. So no unnecessary fluff, no delaying on the good life, just radical ownership and unapologetic action to start living our best CEO life. So remember this is a conversation. I know it seems like I'm just talking to you, but hey, I know you're talking back. You're talking back to the screen. You're having thoughts to the things that I am saying. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear things like, how is it going for you? Have you put any of the things in practice and in place in your life? What is your CEO life like? What is the design for the future that you have for it? Is there anything about the things that I say that you are disagreeing with? I want to hear it all. So find me on social media. I am Shay Cannon, COO, everywhere. So that's @ SHACANNON everywhere. Tag me, send me messages. Let me know what you're thinking, how you're enjoying the show, or like I said, what you're not agreeing with. Well, you see it. It's the gray logo, baby T. So that means it's a even numbered episode. So I have named this episode 4, Burn It All Down. Let's get into it. We're about to build a fire with this episode. This episode, this is going to be where we stop rearranging the furniture in the house that we don't even like living in anymore, and we're going to burn it all down, okay? I'm talking about taking steps back, realizing that life, even your mindset that once served you, is now suffocating you, and choosing to rebuild something more aligned with who you are now and what you want now, not who you were and what you used to want, okay? We started with that. We're not going to end with that. If it doesn't serve us anymore, we're not doing it anymore, okay? Last season, we talked about the power in the pivot, how it's okay to change course, right? Pivot and change. But we're more radical this season. So in this episode, I want you to know not only is it okay to switch course, but we're going to talk about just what it takes to get rid of all the old stuff and usher in the new stuff, all right? Most people don't change until it hurts, right? Some of you might not change until it hurts. But when the discomfort of staying in the same place outweighs the fear of starting over, that's when you know it's time to light the match and burn it all down. Reinvention starts with radical honesty. So start asking yourself, is this working? Instead of saying stuff like, can I keep doing this? Okay. But should you keep doing that, right? Say it straight to yourself. Too many of us are in situations we've mentally just checked out of, but we're still physically showing up out of habit, out of guilt, out of fear of what people will say. Now, this is the point where I'm going to take my glasses off so that you can hear me better, okay? Because this is serious. Let me introduce you to a concept called expired identity. Okay. There is a version of you that built your current life. You were doing the best that you could with what you had. All right. And yes, we honor that version of ourselves, but you can't stay chained to that version of yourself or that old blueprint that got you there. There comes a point when we have to evolve. Okay. A part of this design your CEO life and living your best life is not just recognizing when you need something new, but having the courage, okay, and the fortitude to go towards it. So once you feel like your purpose is turned into a prison, uh, we have to make decisions to make things make sense, not just make it fit. All right. I was in love with this meme that was going around last year. It was what did it say? It said, "Some of you are scared to change. Meanwhile, I'm on my 10th life." That's me. That resonated for me. I don't know about you, but yeah, that resonated for me so much because I am sensitive to what's not working for me. I pay attention when I get into what I call a funk, where things just don't feel right. I might not know what's not feeling right. I might not know why, but I'm in a funk because stuff is not feeling right. Okay. If things start to feel forced or I catch myself avoiding doing certain things, these are signs, okay? And what it means to me is I need to take a look at that thing more closely because something about it is no longer serving me, all right? I need y'all to stop thinking that every time something doesn't feel good, that something is wrong with you. It may just be that what you're doing and how you've been doing it forever is just no longer working for you. We're not supposed to stay the same. There's another quote that just popped in my mind, and it was about if you're the same person that you were 20 years ago, you wasted 20 years. We're not supposed to be the same. And as we change and we evolve, so does the things that make us feel good. So does the things that resonate with us. So does the things that we want and that we desire. And it is okay for us to flip stuff on its head so we can feel the way we want to feel, have what we want to have, and be who we want to be. Okay. So I know that may seem like a superpower that I'm able to do it, to be so in tune with my life that I can feel the funks and I start to make changes. I get it. But what you don't understand is you're getting signs too. You may just be ignoring those signs. Okay. The truth is, in a lot of situations, you'll never feel ready for the next needed step. It can feel so safe that you've never done it before, and so it feels safe to stay where you are. But you got to do it anyway, right? So some signs that reinvention is calling you could be emotional burnout, constant irritation with stuff, resentment towards the people you used to love serving or helping or being around. Um, I'm going to say low grade sadness that you can't quite explain. Like, I'm not going to say full on clinical depression, but just this low grade unhappiness, right? It's kind of hard to explain. What about resistance to doing things that used to light you up, right? You used to have fun doing this, and all of a sudden now you kind of don't want to be bothered with it. You used to get excited to do that, but now you're just like, okay. So that might not be a funk. It could be a full body no, like that's no longer what fulfills you, or as Marie Kondo says, that no longer brings you joy. And so you can just kind of understand that you're not supposed to force it. If it's now misaligned, our goal is to find what is aligned, get rid of what is misaligned. So once you have identified those things, you might feel an initial pushback to changing it. So you might have these thoughts. What if I disappoint people? What if I make the wrong decision? These worries, they're real, okay? But you have to ask yourself, what if the cost of leaving things the same is higher than the cost of changing it? You have to remind yourself that the version of you who built this current thing, okay, didn't know what you know now, okay, didn't know what was possible like you know now. They also may not have had as big of dreams like you have now. Okay. Well, sometimes when we start on a journey, we're scared to dream big, and so we're dreaming small. But once we are conquering these small things, we start to dream bigger. So that person of you that's dreaming bigger may no longer be satisfied with the small stuff, the small wins, and that's okay. Okay. Maybe you figured out that who you are now requires more things than who you were then. Okay. And don't forget, last episode we talked about fear, and you learned that you need to look in the face of fear and do what? Do it anyway. So we have to shift our mindset when it comes to scary things. You cannot reinvent externally if you haven't addressed internally. Okay, we have internal blocks, and we've talked about that time and time again. But this means you got to talk about that inner critic, and you got to talk to that inner critic. You got to define stuff. That voice that tells you you're not ready, you're not good enough, you too old, it's too late, this is too much, you too much. You need to call it out. Yeah, you need to call it out, because we're going to burn that all down. Okay, that voice is not a divine voice. What it is, unfortunately, is recycled shame. It's programming that no longer serves you, and it's projection. That's what it is. So if you get into the neuroscience of it, the brain prefers the familiar. We talked about it last episode, okay? Even when the familiar sucks dookie, okay? The brain would rather have what it's familiar with, even if it's bad for you, even if you're unhappy with it, because it's familiar, so it stamps it as safe. Your inner critic is not protecting you from failure. It's protecting you from growing. Sit with that a minute, okay? Got it? Good. Now, next, let's explore what reinvention actually looks like, because it doesn't always mean blowing up everything entirely, right? Sometimes it just means restructuring how you do things, changing your focus to yourself rather than others. It could be adjusting how you operate from day to day. Okay, in life, it could mean new boundaries, ending relationships, moving, healing relationships, getting a better relationship with your body or your money. Reinvention it isn't always dramatic, but it's always deliberate. Okay. Now, this will be a great time for support for you to introduce a new mantra. Okay. It could be something like, I release the good to make room for the great. Okay. It could be, just because you can doesn't mean you should. See, some of y'all, are booking against a life of ease. You like, well, I can do that. I can go ahead and get this done. I can, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. So because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's aligned. Don't just keep doing stuff. Okay. Now, what is your soul craving that your current setup won't allow? What are you holding on to just because it's familiar? What version of yourself are you afraid to become and why? Okay? You need to start writing this stuff down. Do some voice notes or speak it out loud. Okay? Simple, but that's how you can start, just by reflecting. So here are some practical support tools. I always arm you with great tools. Okay? Now, this one is going to take some sitting down, and it's going to take some real thought. Okay? Because we're going to reflect on a deep level. So we're going to do a mind map. And all a mind map is you put in the middle what you're thinking about, and then you go off of that middle with all the things that you think of when you think about that thing. Okay? So when we are talking about your next version of you that does serve you with all the beliefs and the programmings that you need to serve what you desire in life, I want you to mind map it. So in the middle, I want you to say the next version of me. And then I want you to mind map all the things you think about when you think about your next version, okay? All of the things that you desire. I want you to do that, okay? And we're going to talk more about that mind mapping later because it's going to be a part of your challenge. So I just wanted to give a clear visual of mind mapping, okay? You can also do future self journaling. And all that is you kind of have a notebook kind of dedicated to your future self. And all you're going to do is in there is describe your life like 1 year from now after the reinvention. You can do what I like to call reinvention rituals, like clean out your space. Okay, it's hard to bring in the new when you don't have room for it. So clear out old stuff as though you're getting ready for new. Okay, buy something symbolic that represents your new invented self. Okay, your new future self. Buy something that's symbolic so that you can have some symbol of your future self around you all the time. Okay, you can even create a music playlist dedicated to your future self. Y'all know how to create music playlists. You create them when you're in love. You create them when you dump that guy. You created it when he dumped you. We can create one for our future self. Okay, so maybe some celebratory music, some empowering music. What's coming to me? Beyonce, Who Runs the World, girls. Okay, something about your future self. Put that music on a playlist so that we're empowered about our future self. Okay, now, if you know you need to reinvent something, what is the first brick that you're willing to remove to bring that wall down? Okay, because you don't have to bulldoze the whole wall in one day, but what of the wall are you willing to knock down so that you can breathe again, so that you can start to prepare to be the new you, right? This is how you get it started. So when we start pulling those bricks, okay, when you start to reinvent, there will be losses, okay? People, titles or labels, routines, maybe even some money. But those losses are temporary. They're not even really losses, but at the time you may see it as such. So we're going to label it as a loss, but they're temporary. You can grieve what you're leaving behind. You just should not glamorize staying just to avoid the grief. Okay? You can even cry. You can still close the door when you cry, though. Okay? You can be scared, but you still need to walk away. You can feel sad and free all at the same time. Okay? Both things can be true. Sometimes growth requires grief. 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 Sometimes elevation requires separation. But every bold, brilliant, fulfilled person I know had to burn something down to rise. So don't be afraid to strike the match. What you build next is going to be worth it. Okay? Now, I know that we're at that part where we have challenge, right? Let's talk about the challenge. And I kind of gave you a precursor to this because I do want you to create a mind map. All the things that you want in your new life for the new version of you. So again, when you do a mind map, you just put something in the middle and everything else is an offshoot of everything that comes to mind when you think of the thing in the middle. So what I want you to think of in the middle is the new version of you. And I do want you to think of everything. Who is this new version of you? Who do you want to be? Who is she? What does she have? What is her life like? What are her desires? Okay? I need you to put all of that in the mind map. Now, I want you to exhaust it. I want you to just think over and over again. What is it I want? Who do I want to be? What makes me happy? What are the goals I want to have or achieve? Who is this new version of me and what is her life like? Okay? Now, you're going to have to think deeply for that. But you're not going to be done with the deep thought. Because now what I want you to do is take everything that you put on that mind map, everything that you said you desired, every person you said, everything you wanted to be, all of this, everything you want to have in your new life. For each of those things, I need you to make a list, however short the list may be. But for each one of those things on your mind map, I want you to write what you will have to release to have it. Woo! It's going to be a challenge. You see why I didn't call it homework this season? This is a challenge. First, to come up with all the things we want in the new version, in the new life, and now to look at each one of those things and decide what we have to release to get it. Because what have I been telling you all along? You're going to have to make room for the new stuff. That means you have to get rid of the old stuff. Even when, farmers get ready for crops, sometimes they burn the fields to get ready for the new crop as a part of, that post-harvest from the last crop, getting ready for the new harvest. Sometimes they burn the whole field because when you get rid of stuff, that makes it prime and mature and fertilized for the new stuff. You become a hoarder when you just keep getting new stuff and keep getting new stuff and keep getting new stuff. And when you look back on all the stuff you got and realize you are weighed down with some of the stuff you don't even need anymore, don't even want anymore. I don't want you to be a hoarder. I want you to get used to understanding the new you has to release stuff to make room for the new stuff. Old stuff weighs you down. We need to fly free into the new. Okay? So yes, mind map who you will be, what you desire, what your life is like. For each one of those things, make a list of what you will have to release. Okay? Now, if that wasn't deep enough for you, I got two more things I challenge you to do. The next thing I challenge you to do is to write a breakup letter to the version of your life, your business, your mindset that no longer fits. That whole list of what you're going to have to release, write a breakup letter to it. But we're going to thank it for what it gave us. We're going to thank it for how it served us during that time. But then we're going to let it go. Okay? Breakup letter. And the last thing, I challenge you to write a love letter to the person you're becoming, to the life you're going to have. You're not waiting. Things are already in motion. So write a love letter to that. And it's important that you do these things in chronological order, okay? Write the mind map. Make the list of everything on your mind map for everything on your mind map, write a list of what you will have to release to have it. Write the breakup letter to that list of the things you need to release. Then write the love letter to the person you're going to become and the life that person will have. Okay? All of these things that do not serve you, we are burning it all down. And I want you to not visualize like a burning building where people are struggling or people may die. I don't want you to see it like that. I want you to see it like We're going to burn it all down and then be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You're going to rise better. I actually feel like the phoenix may be um, my what do you call it when animals are like an animal embodies you. I can't think of the phrase. I can't think of the word. Maybe when y'all listen to this, y'all can tell me in the comments. What is it called when you feel a kinship with a certain animal? I can't. It won't come to mind, but I know there's a phrase for it. So if you know the phrase, put it in the comments for me. Okay. But I feel like that I have a kinship with phoenixes. So much so that I have a huge phoenix tattooed on my right foot. It's on fire and it's got yellows and reds and oranges, and it's pretty big. It covers the whole top of my right foot, and it's on my foot because I have had times in my life where things have felt low, where things burnt down, maybe not even by my choice, but I always rise from those ashes better. Like I have never had something horrible happen that I didn't come out better. And if you look back on your life, you may realize it may not have been what you wanted to happen. It may not have been what you expected to happen. It might not have even been what you set out to happen, but you're always better that it happens. Okay? Even if you have just learned a lesson, you're always better. Yeah, you're always better. So never forget that. Now, yes, I am a CEO, but I provide award-winning fractional chief operating officer exclusive services to my clientele of 6 and 7 figure CEOs. I've been featured by Time Magazine, Delta Airlines, Fast Company, Thrive Global, and more. But I use my superpowers to position Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to get to their first 6 figures with a focus on time freedom. If that's you, I'd like to give you an invite to my free business mastermind group where we build community, create collaborations, and have conversations to provide you with transformational business growth. So go to shaycannon.info/group to join us. Join us today. It's free. What are you waiting on? We would love to have you. Okay. That's all for this episode. I'm sorry. It's been a pleasure having you to tune in. So, CEO, go design a life worth living. Bye for now.